Okay, kind of picking up where I left off from the last one, and I'm really ADD, so I'll probably bounce all over the place. Um, I think I was coming over here to kind of explain the meaning or what you do with all of these things, because this is where you'll like have to do your work. Well, you design it over here, but this is what's going to make it work. So, so I have both of these highlighted right now, and you can see they're two separate pieces because they're two separate colors. And even if I made them the same color, I can come to color sync, and if I want them both black, I can move my heart up to the black. That makes them all the same. So right now you can't tell that they're two separate pieces, but it will move around. If I want them to be all one piece to cut, which I think I've already done that in the last video, but I'll go over it real quick. I come back, I went to color sync. I'm going to click over here and go back to layers. Okay, so here's where all these little things come in. I have these highlighted. If I only want them to be where I can move them together, like let me, over here I'm going to add a text. And this is where you add all your text. And right here I have the word love. I'm going to change it. You change all your fonts right here. We'll just change it to that. And I want my love black. Okay. So I want it centered in the bottom. So I'm going to highlight love and the heart. And I'm going to align it in the center. Okay. If I come over here to the right and I group them, they're not attached to each other. Well, I only attached my, hang on, let me undo that. Okay, let me just highlight it all. I want it all grouped. On that last, when I just moved the arrow and the word, those two were the only ones grouped together. So if I group them all together, it's all going to move around together. The difference between group and attach is going to be how it cuts. So right now they're grouped. If I want to move them and just, I don't have to move each one individually. If I resize, they're all going to resize together. But when I go to cut it, they're all separate. So grouping them only keeps them grouped together out here while you're working on them. If you want them to stay together, you can attach them. So I'm coming down here and I'm attaching. It's got the little paper clip. Now when I go to cut it, go to make it, it has them all attached. Okay, so right here you see the arrow and the heart. You still see the arrow is cutting through the heart. So what that's going to do is that's going to cut that right across where those white lines are. And I don't want that. I would want it all one piece. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to weld it. And welding is just smashing it all together like a welder. So now when I go to do it, it's all one piece. So, and that's how you can do, and that's basically the difference. I'm going to undo this. That's the difference between them. So group is where they're grouped together only on the screen, and but when you go to cut, they're all going to separate. The attach is going to attach them. They're going to be laid out just like that, but the arrow and the heart were not welded together. So it would cut each thing separately if they're not welded. It would still keep them in the same place. So like if you were making something for a shirt or whatever, and you wanted all the placement the same, it would keep it that way, but each one was cut separate. And then the welds them together where it cuts as one piece. An example of how you would use the attach before you cut. I mean, there's a lot of ways, but let me just say I'm going to ungroup these now. You can come back over here and ungroup so they're all separate again. I'm going to say I want to write. Your Cricut will write and cut. So I want to write the word love on my heart. So I'm highlighted my word. I'm going to come up here. Actually, wait, I'm coming over here. And I'm going to click on this. And you see right here it has scissors. So it's going to show you up here what you're doing. Right now I'm cutting the word love, but I want to write the word. So I'm going to come there. And I'm going to change it. The main reason you would change the color of the writing is if you're writing a lot, and whatever you want written the same color, you would put it all the same color. And it's the same with cutting. Everything that is like everything that's highlighted black or shown in black is going to cut together. And everything that's written in red, let's just say red, is going to be written together. And then everything silver is going to be written silver. So anyway, but that's where you get into all the colors. Okay, so I have the word love. I'm going to highlight all this so it's easier to see or make it bigger. Okay, so I've got my word. Now on this word love, it has it where it's going to be outlining the words. I kind of like it where it, if you come over here and select writing, it's going to give you all the fonts, which it clicks it back over to black so you can't see it, but let me just change that there. So a lot of these fonts have single lines, and that's where you get into the writing one. And because I selected writing right here, it should bring up all the ones that have writing over here. And you can see right here, I guess it didn't pull just them out, but like Alphalicious has a writing, so I'm going to click on it and see what it looks like. I'm coming to change it again. Okay, so let's say I want to do that. And what it'll do is I want to write the word love in a pen on the heart and then cut it. So if I want my heart and my arrow attached, I'm going to need to move the word love and go ahead and attach them or weld them. I want them welded together. So it's all one piece. And then I have to bring the word love to the front. Sometimes it's a pain, but okay, so if I want that kind of centered, I'm just going to put it right there. Okay, so that's how I want it written. I'm going to highlight it all again, and here I'm going to attach it. So now when I go to make it, over here you'll look, it has draw and cut to the left. And so first it will do the drawing before it does the cutting. So you put your pen in or your marker in. There are some Cricut pens, and there are some Recollection brands that fit the same as the Cricut. And also the Crayola thin markers work well in it. And so I use those sometimes for a thicker or bolder writing. but it will write that, and then it will cut out my heart. And so it won't cut this out, it will just write it. And so that's kind of how you'd use attach. Attach is just putting something where you want it, but not necessarily welding it, or yeah. Or if I wanted to attach, like, and you can move right here. I forgot to show you that, but when you're still on this mat right here, you can move things around, or sometimes if you have smaller pieces, you know, you can move it up here in this corner, and that'll save you paper. Move that up right there, and that would let me cut off right here across. So, okay, I only have 4 more minutes left in this one, so let me think what else I can show you. Let me go back on this, and I'm going to show you the slice real quick. We're going to get rid of our word love. These should be, okay, let me just get rid of this. I'm going to, oh, it's not going to let me unweld it now. Let me see how far back I can go. Maybe that did it. Yep, there it did. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here and get rid of some of these. A lot of people, you know, make the split, like we've probably seen, like the split letters or whatever with the name in the middle. So how you would do that, that's what the slicing is for. I mean, you can slice anything. Sometimes I want things a certain shape, and I go in and I slice out. But this is just the easiest example I can give right now. So I'm going to, this is the basic shapes right here. I put in a square. This is where you unlock it, where you can move it. If it's locked, you can only move it like that. If you unlock it, you can move it however you want. So I'm going to do it like that. Okay, so what that's going to do is that's going to cut out the middle of that. So I'm going to highlight it all and slice. And that is getting rid of pieces. And there's that middle part is gone. And that's what the slice button is for. And the slice will only do two different images at a time, because I've tried to do several layered to slice all at once, and it made me do it individually. So if you go to slice things, you just have to and wonder why it's not working. It may be that you have more than 2 things highlighted. It also, I don't think it's supposed to slice images that are imported, but I think I've done that before. So, which is probably the next thing I need to show you. Let me see if I've covered most of this. We've got the text, images. Okay, upload. I may start that on the next video. So again, just the text right here. I'll go over it real quick. So that's the writing. That's if I'm going to write it as a pen. If I want to cut it, I go back to regular, and it would cut it like that. Except my internet is going very slow. There we go. That's showing that it's cutting it over here. This is if I want to cut a layer to it. I would just open the eye up. So, and then here, like if I'm putting something across a shirt or something, this is the 12 by 12 mat, but usually about 8 inches, I think, is what it, or anyway, I mean, I guess you could measure across the front of the shirt, but that shows how wide it's going to be measuring. Okay, I paused it real quick. I had a person come in. Anyway, my time is almost up, but I was going to show you also the welding. See how this is more of a script font? I'm going to move my spacing together, and sometimes it doesn't always line up good, but I moved it all together, and then I'm going to weld that, and that puts it all together where it looks like script. so it's attached.